All right, guys. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. From wherever you're joining us from today, this is EasyFX Academy. Thank you for joining us for today's market review session. And we'll just go into the charts briefly. Before then, before we look at some commodities, let's just look at the dollar index first. Let's just have an idea of what exactly we expect from the US dollar majorly this coming week, and then we'll just move from there. All right. So this DXY to our chart. Let me just move up to the 4 hour time frame. Right. So I remember saying last week that we're expecting, and by the way, if you're able to take some of the trades from last week, you should be, if at all you're still holding like a swing trader, right, you should be in some very solid profits. But last week was quite profitable for us, thankfully, and I believe that this week is not going to be different. So let's just go on from there. For DXY, possibly I should start from the daily time frame for this. Last week we're expecting DXY to gain some strength, and we have seen that continue, or that happened already. I remember last week I was talking about the fact that this was the last major break of structure that we got to see on DXY, and the current retracement that is happening now will be willing to look out for buys from preferably around here. And going based off of that, I think for this week I might still be fairly bullish on DXY for a while. All right. However, I want to just add this disclaimer, so to speak. Tomorrow is CPI, so it's 15th of July, right? That's the CPI news release. So we might get to see some what was the word I should use? Hanky panky. Right, we might get to some very interesting moves prior to then. All right, but and of course we'll be trading that live with the FX Templar. But for now, I am watching out for this high to be taken out. Overall, I think I'll still be fairly bullish for the meantime off of this guy. Though there is a this is a very valid. Let me mark it out. This is a very valid supply region around here, but price seems like it's going to take it out, like break up of or break out of that zone. All right, and if you're wondering why exactly I'm marking out that zone, it's very simple. We have a drop, base, drop. If you're able to understand that schematic there. All right, but basically that's what I'm seeing right now, and I think we might get to see price take out this high. So for the meantime, I think I'll still be quite bullish on the dollar for a while. I'll still be quite bullish on the dollar. Yeah. Let's just hold this for the meantime. All right. So that being said, let's just look at some other commodities. Let's start from gold. Gold was basically one of our very interesting performers last week and gave us proper, you know, a proper move towards the upside for the buys. We again thankful for that, right? So let's start from the daily time frame. Let's see what exactly we might have on gold. Right. So this is gold on the daily time frame. Let's look at it together. I feel and I believe from what I can see from the chart that gold probably should still push up a bit. We should still get to see some of the buy continuation of gold for a while. I want to see where we might be able to get in for good re-entries. Right now it seems like we're having a short retracement towards the downside. Last week I remember I was talking about this point last week. If we got to see price break below this region, then I will be expecting for a sweep of this low and then possibly a buy from there. But thankfully this zone held up on its own. Interesting. All right, this was already triggered, but interestingly, we are having that same reaction from this zone already, and I believe that that zone should be broken or should be taken out soon enough. Um, yeah, let's hope with that. So, for the meantime, I think I'll just give a very broad region for us to watch. Oh, maybe we should just go to the 2 hour time frame before I mark anything too large out. Let me see the 1 hour time frame first. If I don't see something that I'm so comfortable with, I might just mark out what I saw earlier on the 4 hour time frame. All right, so let's just mark out this region right now, the 4 hour time frame. So this is quite large, and if you're comfortable with what we do here, usually when I mark out large regions like this, especially rather on volatile commodities like this, I would advise you to take proper care and practice proper risk management, preferably before entering for the trade. Work with your own entry criteria on the lower time frames if possible. Right, but for this, I think we can watch out for this end to play out. So I can move this one now so let's be cleaner. Yes, I think we can watch out for this zone for possible buys off of gold. Very huge zone, especially if you're trading gold, right? Sorry, this is between 3330.05 and 3309.64. Right, but that will be my current demand zone for possible buys off of gold. I do not feel and I do not believe that we might get to see bearish continuation right now. All right, because from what I can see from gold right now, we've already had price taking out this high to some extent, and I think overall, if you check on the daily time frame or higher time frames, you see that this guy is quite bullish. So let's just see how that plays out. We have reason for price to still push up a little bit more, I believe, a little bit more, I believe. So let's see how that plays out this week. So I'm expecting a sell to buy sort of scenario on gold this week, retracement basically, then continuation. Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. So retracement, then continuation for the buys. Let's see how this will play out. Like I said, tomorrow is CPI, so I'll be interested in seeing how exactly CPI incorporates into our current bias right now. Preferably, usually before CPI, especially if you're a straddle trader, you might want to see some little bit of consolidations before the news. But that's by the way anyway. That's not conversation for right now. So that's it for gold. Let's look at AED card also. So AED card daily time frame. Interestingly enough, I believe we should get to see buy very soon. I think from the overall time frame, daily time frame, not overall but necessarily, but from the daily time frame, we're quite bullish. This would be for me the last high that was taken out. All right, the break of structure in this wise, and if that was our break of structure, let's see if we can find. There's this region here that is looking a little bit too good to be true. This candle here rather is looking a little bit too good to be true, but let me just mark it out first, then we can come to the lower time frames and do our best to scrutinize that point. I think I'm still quite okay with this. So you notice that I'm just staying basically on the 4-hour time frame. For some of them, we might need to go lower, but for now, I think we'll just be chill on this time frame, on the 4-hour time frame. So I think for the buys, I might be expecting possible buys from here. This will be POI1. I already had this region marked out a couple of weeks, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago by now, right? That I was watching out for possible buys from, and I think it is fairly, it's still quite valid. It's still quite valid. So this will be POI2. But for the meantime, I think this week, especially if you're a swing trader, this might be a very good opportunity for you to maximize as this week goes on. So AD card buys for me around region between 0.89545 and 0.89275. That will be our current demand region rather on AD cards. So I hope that is clear. And let's also look at AD/USD. I remember AD/USD really played me last week. It's didn't. Yeah, I think I was expecting to sell from somewhere around here. I've forgotten where exactly it was, but basically it didn't pick me at all. It didn't. Not that it didn't even pick me. It took me out. But let's just see what exactly we can make of what exactly we can make of what current price action on this guy is right now. So let's just quickly plot some things up here. Again, CPI is coming out for the US anyway, so I'm going to do my best to accommodate that possibility, or the possibility that will come from the volatility from the news tomorrow, into what exactly we'll be analyzing. So I think AD card is going to be similar to what we are doing here, or AD/USD rather is going to be similar to what we just saw on AD card. I'm very tempted to pick this region, but I do not want to. I'm very tempted to pick this region by region. So this for me wasn't a very, very clear break. So I won't necessarily be marking it out, but I just want to show you this one. This for me was not necessarily a clear break. So there's a very obvious region for me here. Based off of the way I trade, there's a very obvious region for me around here, where price already is in. But I'm going to be very cautious. So I think for the meantime, so that we'll just be very conservative on AD/USD. Let me come to the 1-hour time frame. I'll give us criteria basically. That's what I'm trying to just see if I can set up. It does look like this guy is going to continue for a fairly long sell, but if I take this as the last load that was made, right? Let's just fib it. Let's just fib that point first and see. So price already has given us good enough reactions from there. Come to the exactly still that same point I didn't want to mark out. All right, so I'll just mark this out. Possibly I'll go to the lower time frames. Maybe I'll drop down to the 1-hour time frame, and let's see if we can sort of refine that region. Let me see on the 1-hour time frame. Exactly the place I didn't want to be leaving. So let me just mark out this region, for example, right now. I think this is still quite fair. Not necessarily the best, but this is still quite fair. So preferably, I'll be giving you what exactly you should be watching out for before taking this buy. Number one, you want to see that price comes clearly into the 0.5 or the 50% of this region, which is around 0.6531 or so. Sorry, is that it? 0.665351. Apologies, 0.65351. So I want to see price come towards the 50% of that region first. Another thing is I'll be taking this trade without making sure that I can see a clear, confirmation, especially if I can get to see something like a rejection candle being formed, right? I think that'll be a very good confirmation because AD right now, AD the current structure I'm seeing on AD is not necessarily clear enough for me to work based off on. I'm still expecting it to sell definitely, but I'm expecting a continuation for the drop. But for the buy is what I'm going to be very, very cautious of for the meantime. But yeah, that's just it for AED USD right now. Let's go to EA, then we'll do ECAD. I remember EA, yeah, so EA, this was the trade from last week. EA really, really has played with my emotions. I'm currently still on this trade right now, but I think for EA, let's check on the daily time frame first. I'll see how far. Okay, so EA might actually still give us a little bit of a drop. We have some space at behind by the fair value gap. Let's see on the 2-hour time frame. We might actually have a still continuation of this guy. It is looking awfully like we might have a still continuation of this guy. So I might actually have to close out of this buy, or maybe I'll close some positions. I have about 2 or 3 positions open on this, so maybe I might close two and leave one to run. And then whatever happens in that one happens. But basically, I think for E, we might get to see this 0.3 out. So this will be my current supply region between 1.78836 and 1.78538. That'll be my current supply region. Now the reason why I'm expecting sales currently is because we've seen price taking out this. So we've seen price taking out liquidity from this trend line. So trend line liquidity has been taken. We've seen price break below this point. Preferably, it does look like price has already given us another break of structure by breaking this low towards the downside. Not break of structure, rather a change of color, guys. It seems like that, but I want to still be cautious. I want to see what price does when we get here. If we get a possible, if we get a possible sell continuation from this, sure, why not? But if not, for the meantime, like I said, I'm going to just have one position left for the buy. So let me delete this for the meantime. I think we can still work with buys though, because overall structure right now that this guy has been giving us for the past couple of weeks since May has been bullish. So I think we might still watch out for buy continuations for the meantime. But please just take note of this region that I gave earlier. So for now, I think I'll be I'll also work with this for the meantime. Also work with these buys for the meantime. Also work with these buys for the meantime. But if I'm on the buy, or if you're on the buy, if you're taking the buy, I might not necessarily be able to get entries right now. But if you're taking this buy, make sure to watch out for these points before you get in for possible sells. All right. So give me a minute, please. All right, so apologies for the break there. I had to check up on something. All right, so that's it for Euro AD anyway. So let's look at Euro card, also Euro card, and I think for this guy, all right. So daily time frame, that was the last break of the high. 4-hour time frame. But I prefer to see what exactly happens after the CPI news release tomorrow, because that will give us a little bit of a buffer to be able to understand how price will try, or how the market in general will try to restabilize itself after volatility has been seen. I'm not seeing anything so clear right now on Euro card, so I might not necessarily. Okay. Okay, we should still see a fair bit of a drop rather than going by what I'm seeing daily time frame right now. So this is going to be something I'll be watching out for. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Let's see if we can possibly correlate that with. Yes, we can. So so this would be my I think sorry, let me just quickly mark out this point here. So yeah, we have this zone right now. So this would be where I'll be expecting possible buys from of a euro card between 1.58488 and 1.57507. So that will be the region that'll be my demand region currently on euro card for possible buys. Again, you can notice that you can see that we're just staying on 4-hour time frame, 2-hour time frame, like looking out for swing opportunities basically. And if you're going to be taking this as a scalper, you might just go to lower time frames and work based off of that. All right, but for the meantime, this is what I think we can watch out for, from here. So for possible buys from here, so a drop seems to be in order, something like this, right? This would be the low expecting price to still take out for a bit, right? So that's it for euro card. That was euro USD. We should have even done euro USD by now. Euro USD was also one of our good, very very good customers last week. And let's just see. Already we had this demand zone marked out last week on euro USD. Coordinates between 1.16416 and 1.15803 for possible buys. That was our first POI. So let's still correlate. Let's still check if that still looks valid this week. And I think it does. I believe it does. Again, this was this seems sorry about that. This seems to be our last break of structure towards the upside. So this still very much seems like a very very valid zone for price to give us that reaction towards the upside from. So that's POI one, or my point of interest, my first point of interest. This would be second one, but I do not necessarily think that price will drop so far. I don't necessarily think the price will drop so far towards this downside. But for the meantime, I think we can still work with this for the meantime. Again, CPI is coming out tomorrow, so I want to see how that plays out also. So I think this will be my current bias on Euro USD. Yeah, this will be my current bias on Euro USD. So let's see it on 2-hour time frame if there is anything. Not really, but I'll just give you the coordinates for the second one right now. This is between 1.15175 and 1.14537. All right, that's for the second POI. In case we get to the market breaks below that region, during the news release tomorrow. Now again, I'll just say it because I've already said it before, but I'll also say it again, right? Do your best to practice proper risk management and make sure that before taking any of these trades, you're working with your own entry criteria on the lower time frames. You can see that we're marking out some pretty large zones. I'm not necessarily expecting you to maybe be a swing trader, right? But at the very least, be able to work based off of these biases to get in for your trades. All right, that being said, this is GBP JPY. I remember our bias last week for our bias last week was bearish. We're expecting price to sweep above this high and give us a bearish retracement, so to speak, before the buys, but we didn't get to see that happen as clearly as we expected. However, we've gotten to see that price truly is a bit bearish, or has been a bit bearish for a while. So let's see let's see the possibility of us getting in on the fund here. Maybe I start on daily time frame again. It actually should still drop. You should still drop. So we have under fair value gap left behind here. So let me remove this for the meantime. So let's see. Let's still expect this to play out. Let's still hold on to this. I believe this is still valid right now. Let me just mark it out as accurately as possible. All right, something like that. So basically, I'm still expecting price to give us a drop, and then the possible buy continuations. So POI for the demand region 197.631 and between 197.631 and 197.178 for the possible buys on GBP JPY. All right, next up we'll just do GU, then we'll do maybe NZD USD and possibly USD JPY. All right, or maybe USD card also. So let's just quickly look at GBP USD quickly. Give me a minute. Right, so GBP USD didn't take us in. We're expecting sales from here last week. GBP USD used our admissions to play, but it is all right. It's all right. So straight off the bat right now, I can see a very, very on this 4-hour time frame. I can see a very obvious looking, a very obvious looking order block. But I'm going to be extremely cautious. Now, one of the things I think I've said about a couple of times already on this call is that we're having the CPI news release out tomorrow, and I will tell you of the truth. It's not your other blocks or obvious other blocks, let me put it like that. Some of the things that might happen that might look very, very obvious, very, very, probable, might be things that will get played out or played through rather, during news releases. Right. So just be very, very cautious of it. This is just a P right now. I'm not telling you to take in for buys from here. All right, but let's still see maybe on the 2 hour time frame. So let me go to the daily time frame first. Now remember that when we started, we saw that we expected the dollar to still continue, to still, gain some strength. So if we use just correlation, then we should expect something like GBP USD is also to drop in that wise. But let's just be cautious of that still. So let's see. Let us see. I think I'm watching out for this second region more though. At least between 1.33357 and 1.3250 for possible buys, for the possible buy continuation rather on GBP USD. So a sell to buy scenario basically is what I'm expecting. Either this, which I don't think is going to get so old, or we get to see this, which I am more inclined to believe in should happen. Right. So preferably I'm working out because I'm going to be a lot more conservative. So I'm working out for the second one. For the first one, if I'm going to be taking it, of course, again, practice for risk management, right? So that's it for GBP USD. Let's just do USD card straight up, and then we'll do USD JPY, and then we can call it a session. So for USD card, let's see on daily time frame. Okay. So I want to find this current move on USD card is very, very, this is a very notorious move. Let me see it on the 2 hour time frame. Okay, so this was it somewhere around it. This basically is the current supply region that is holding price down, or that has been holding price down, so to speak. This, yeah. All right, so that whole region there encapsulated by that large bullish candle in between. So let's see what exactly can we possibly watch out for right now. See if we can get good entries. I'm not seeing anyone that is clear enough right now on USD card. No one that I'll be willing to take. Preferably, there is a lot of there's liquidity line below this trend line. So price has all the means or all the authority, all the necessity as it was to be desirous of sweeping that liquidity and dropping towards the downside. For the meantime, on this guy, let me see again. I'm just scrolling through the time frame to see if we can get anything, very, very concrete to work with. No, not right now. So as far as I'm concerned, especially as a swing trader, all of these currently qualifies for me as consolidations right now. Right, so I'm going to be very, very cautious and stay off of USD card till when I get to see something a lot more clearer. All right, but if I'm just to free ball, I expect that possibly this trend line should still hold for a bit, and maybe we should get to see price push towards the upside a bit because this current zone here that has acted as a sort of resistance for price has already been tested 1, 2, 3 times already. So price has many reasons, if not more, to break above that region. So let's just watch out for how that plays out. And again, working with the correlation of the fact that we're expecting the dollar to still gain some more strength. So last but not the least for today's session is USD JPY. USD JPY basically we were bullish last week, and we're saying we're expecting price to give us a break and retest of this region, come here, and then possibly we'll be looking out for sales from here. So we got to see overall bullish movements. Price give us a little bit of the sales from here, and then we got to see another continuation for the bullish movement. So let's see what are the possibilities that we might have, in this coming week. So I think this still holds up. This still holds up. Let me zoom in on that. I expect this high to be swept. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I expect that price should be a good boy and take that guy out. Let's see it on the 4 hour time frame. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So if I'm going to be trading this now, I think it's easier for us to work with past data. Let me just mark this region out first. So this would be where I'm watching out for possible sells off of USDJPY. So basically, I'm still quite bullish on this guy right now. Let me see if we can get bullish re-entries or possibilities for bullish re-entries on maybe the 2 hour, 1 hour time frame. At least, we'll be able to work with the move this week. So I think on this guy, we get a drop. We should get a drop soon. We should get a drop soon, though not necessarily something long, but a short retracement towards the downside. And if we are working based off of that, I think this was market open yesterday. Yeah, so we're working based off of that. We can mark. Maybe I should just use the fib for that. Using the fib right now might not be the best. So let me just use you. Yep. So this will be where I'm watching out for possible buys right now. Let me see it. Yeah. Let's work with this for the meantime. So USDJPY possible buy considerations will be from here. 147.299 and 147.141 rather. That will be the coordinates for my demand region right now on USDJPY. So far so good. I think we've touched about 6 or 7, if not more, commodities that you might watch out for this week. Do well to again practice proper risk management. We'll be trading news live. All right, and I'll be sending the link so also that we can join in for the news release. Right. So do also have a lovely week. Do well to practice again proper risk management. The reason why I'm being very, very insistent on emphasizing on this a lot is because again this week we're having the CPI, and I want to tell you that the current things that are going on in the world mean that news releases of fundamentals, as it were, are a lot more dicey, a lot more interesting as it was. So please protect your capital at all costs. I don't want you to lose money. Right. And of course, when you make profit, send your offering, send your tithes. We'll be doing like this. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys. Have a lovely and a very, very profitable week ahead. Bye bye.